Network. "30 years ago, Jets fans poured into Flushing, Queens in New York for the final home game at Shea Stadium.
My seats were in the upper deck on, I would say, somewhere around the 25-yard line.
Our seats were in the low section, which was behind third base, which was, 30-yard line.
Fans had prepared their goodbyes to Shea, but not yet to the season. For the 7-7 Jets to keep their playoff hopes alive, they needed to beat the 9-5 Pittsburgh Steelers.
We really weren't focused on the situation in New York. Our main focus was on our own inner turmoil. We were starting to be an older team, and injuries and other things play a factor in who goes and who stays.
Terry Bradshaw was making his first appearance of the season after undergoing elbow surgery.
If Terry Bradshaw came in, Terry Bradshaw was always going to be Terry Bradshaw. He threw 8 passes that day, 5 were completed and 2 were for touchdowns. In the Jets defense, we didn't have any answers that day.
After his second touchdown pass, Bradshaw re-injured his elbow. In his absence, the Steelers turned to Franco Harris. Harris ran for over 100 yards. What was supposed to be a tightly contested game disintegrated into a rout.
The crowd was starting to get a little restless at the end. We knew it was over. We knew it was done.
In New York City, they have to feel an emptiness. The Jets are gone to New Jersey, and they go away a loser.
It was a very emotional day. Us losing a chance to maybe getting into the playoffs and us losing our home. You would feel like you were robbed, kind of. You were violated in some weird way.
At one point, I remember looking to the right, which would have been the center field bleachers. They were jumping up and down so hard, they wanted part of the stadium.
They're tearing apart, it appears, some of the bleachers out under the scoreboard. Yeah, they're throwing it out to their buddies out there. I guess they got the truck backed up.
About 2 sections away from me, there was actually guys with like screwdrivers, hammers, trying to take the seats and lift them out of the stadium.
It felt like part of my childhood was being taken away. I see a guy run over to the auxiliary scoreboard and rips out the NY, a piece of sheet metal. So I run down there and I get the VIS.
Final play of the 20 years that the New York Jets have occupied Shea Stadium as their home base.
Just instinctively, we realized, well, let's get out of here quicker maybe than we normally do.
Everybody storms the field.
People are on the field with police around, and people are trying to take dirt, whatever it was, grass.
The scene I remember the best was around home plate. Police come out and they make a chain and they just start marching everybody towards the center field fence.
I've always said that that's a celebration. It wasn't a riot. You don't see any fistfights in that video. You don't see any pushing and shoving. They were down there sincerely thanking you for the effort. They were disappointed that you were leaving. They were disappointed that you lost. But they were a part of us, that they were going to follow us, and they took a part of Shea Stadium with them.
I thought this. I said, boy, only the Jets. Can we have a scenario where people are trying to take part of the goalpost now? For a team that just lost the game, wasn't going to the playoffs, and now was leaving to go somewhere else.
We all wanted to take part of Shea with us. We couldn't as a player. I think that they wanted to take a piece of Shea, not to be violent, not to be destructive. They just wanted a piece of it.
For Pittsburgh, the moment was also historic and bittersweet. Terry Bradshaw never played again. Franco Harris spent the next season in Seattle. The Jets headed to New Jersey to play their home games in the Meadowlands. And many of their fans from Shea followed.
Very loyal fans. I think to this day, most of the fans that are season ticket holders are still from Long Island. You still run across those Jet fans that will ask you to sign a back of a seat. And it's the souvenir that they took, back in December of '83 from Shea Stadium. It's a part of history that they can always